me tell you guys right now that it is another episode for Further Instructions.
Yeah, with a special guest.
Yes, very special guest. I'm Hutch Dano. This is Daniel Curtis Lee, and our special guest is Jonathan Goldstein.
The Jonathan Goldstein.
Very much so. Yeah.
He gets an article in front of his name.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nice. We're just Daniel Curtis Lee and Hutch Dano. This is the Jonathan Goldstein.
You know, when I was on the TV show, when I was on the Drake and Josh, I would get on, I don't remember if it was MySpace or whatever the fuck it was, but like people would start calling me the GOAT.
The GOAT. Yeah.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that meant.
Okay. Got
For the longest time.
So
this is like 15 years ago, right? And
Sure.
I'm like, why are people calling me a GOAT? I don't get it. I was walking around for like weeks in shame. And
because you thought you looked like a goat?
I didn't know what the hell it meant.
Yeah, does it mean I'm hairy? Like, what qualities do goats have?
Of the goat am I?
I think maybe like the beard.
Oh,
thing.
I thought it was kind of like
But I honestly had no clue.
That it meant the greatest of all time. And you embodied that. You embodied that, man.
Do I really?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You know?
Yeah, whatever.
World's most interesting man. Get a
little
bit of that.
See, but you called a couple people that. So like I already you called me that on the Ned spot.
I called you what? The greatest of all time?
No, the most interesting man.
Some of your stories are very
you got interesting stories.
You got interesting stories.
You do.
I try my best.
I think I look like that actor.
Like a little bit.
That was the what was it, like a beer ad or something like that?
I don't always drink beer.
I know,
but when I do,
I Dos Equis.
Right. Should I say that? Will they send us a case?
Why not? Let's find out.
Dos Equis.
I prefer Dos Equis. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, so send that on over.
Do you like Dos Equis?
Yeah, great beer. If you like a dark beer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Especially if I'm about to get sponsored by them. What do you mean? Do I like it?
Like,
free beer.
Any of them will do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
hey, how do we know Jonathan? How do we know?
We've known Jonathan you want to know how I know
Jonathan?
I
met him before you.
Because how Jonathan knows me is very different from how he fucking met you.
Okay, well, tell us.
Well,
I want to hear that story.
Go ahead.
Well,
I'm not going to tell that story.
Oh, this story. This was like darkest before the dawn type of story.
Yes.
Jonathan met.
But was it with the program?
Sort of.
We were teaching. Yeah. It was a teaching thing.
Yeah.
And I think it was Texas. We were in Texas and
there was
teaching.
There was
a blizzard.
Yeah.
And they turned to me and they're like, so we're getting this other guy's going to come and help. And I was like, what? Why? And they were like, well, he's going to come. And I was like, okay, great. What's his name? Oh, Hutch Dano. And I'm like, okay, who's that?
Yeah, who the fuck is that?
Who's that?
Sounds like a dweeb.
You know, in fairness, look, I did not consume any kind of children's television even back then. So I like I said before, I like barely watched my own show. So like I was like, okay, great. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
And so I'm expecting, some,
respectable
young man to show up. And I remember seeing him for the first time. We were at the top of this escalator.
Yeah.
And I see this figure, this very concerning looking young man, completely disheveled, out of sorts, confused. No suitcase.
No luggage.
Just out of place.
No bag.
Dang.
And he's coming up and his hair is all like
disheveled,
fluffed out and weird. And he's like, I'm like, hi, I'm Jonathan. He's like,
that was not there, man.
Can you lend me like some money for food? Or something like that.
What?
Yeah. You want to take it from here, pal?
Well, you're doing such a great job. That's exactly how
I asked him for money for food.
Okay.
You didn't even ask him if he was a teacher.
Hold on.
He was adorable.
Hold on.
He was adorable.
Adorable in the most like, holy shit, if someone doesn't adopt this puppy from the pound, it's fucking over for him. Like, it was like, that's how bad I was.
No, because I introduced you
that's how bad I
I introduced you to the program when you were at least 20-something. You couldn't have been adorable.
Broski, when you introduced me to the program, I was still what we would call
Do they all know what the program is?
Oh,
yeah.
What are we talking about? International, for the viewers at home.
Yeah.
We did these international teach outs, so we would go and teach people the arts. Acting.
We were acting teachers, and we all sort of met on these different gigs, and then we started spending a lot of time together.
All
been around the world,
Totally.
and it was a little concerning. But I got to tell you, so you come up the escalator, you were completely lost. You were like a lost little lamb.
Yep.
But through the years, watching you get your poop in a group,
man,
has been one of the joys of my life.
Man.
It's been really nice because you're in trouble.
Oh,
and the thing about it was I really liked you from the start. I just was really concerned, and I remember I don't know how far along we were in the game. We had worked together a bunch of times, and you had gotten yourself together a little bit.
Yeah.
But you were still a little
it was still pretty. It was teetering.
Is Hutch going to bring any underwear?
Yeah.
On the trip, will he show up?
Will he show up?
Will he show up? Do we have to buy him cigarettes? But I was doing like a voiceover thing. Gosh, I wish I could remember. They were really great, and I met this actress who had done the
Courtney Palm.
Was it Courtney? Was that
Palm,
her name?
I think,
and who did
from Zombievers.
From the Beaver.
Yeah, Zombievers. Yeah,
whatever the heck it was.
Yeah.
And she just sung your praises and said, "Greatest guy of all time."
Oh,
and we're all really worried, but we think he's gotten his shit together. And then I saw you again, and you had. It was like months later.
Yeah, totally.
And then I think ended up with a pretty good friendship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The first time, because I got to go back because you said something about the food thing, and I just have to give context to what happened. So my dad picks me. I am wasted. Okay, it's 9 a.m. I'm supposed to get on a flight, and my dad picks me up, and I have no money. When I tell you no money, I'm drinking. I'm grabbing quarters from my desk and going to get the $1.55 red wine that's gonna kill you. If you drink the whole thing. So I drink this whole bottle of red wine, and my dad's like, "We got to go." And I'm like, "Oh, just hold on." And he goes, "Are you going to bring anything?" I go, "Fuck that. I don't even bring shit. Okay, let's just go." So I go with a leather jacket, this thermal shirt on, the jeans, and bad shoes.
I seem to remember also a flannel.
Yeah, probably a flannel. I looked like Bender from The Breakfast Club, probably. But the worst version of him. And I
hate to agree with you.
Oh, no, it's real
Bender
tough.
looks bent.
I didn't have my
So,
and I had no money, and I didn't bring a wallet. I brought my ID with me in my pocket.
You had lost your wallet, I thought.
All I had was my ID. And so I left to go
how
to...
convenient.
And my friends,
I lost my wallet.
And my friends, that's it.
That's
the
all I
clothes
had.
on his back.
That's all I had.
And the ID.
And so I needed money from Jonathan to buy food because I got there starving because I had no money for food at the airport.
Hungover, too?
Hungover. My dad was like, "I'm not giving you any money because you're going to go spend it on booze." And I went, "You're not wrong." God damn it. Yeah, but he knew. So I left with no money at the airport at LAX. And then I got to the Blizzard,
and
Texas.
Boy, were you lucky because nobody showed up. There was nothing to do.
Oh, to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was all we did was hang out.
Which was all I was capable of doing.
Dang.
Really, barely,
Wow.
barely. I could barely even socialize without bursting into tears.
Yeah.
He'd be like, and all Jonathan had to do, I remember I burst into tears once with Jonathan on that trip, especially because he goes, "What's wrong?" And I just broke down. I was just I just don't know what to do anymore. And you were like, "Okay, all right." I don't think you realized how much of an answer you were gonna get.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I didn't.
Dang.
yeah,
I didn't know. Well, I didn't know how much in trouble you were. And it was interesting to me that they would send a kid out who was in that much trouble.
Oh yeah, because I pretended I wasn't.
Shocking.
I would tell people I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm fine." This was at this point. Daniel wasn't even talking to me. Daniel was like, I'd already burned the bridge with Daniel at this point.
Well, no, but I had brought you on. Well, no, it was a couple months. Dang, that might have been right before we fully. I was like, no, okay, I can't.
Bro,
keep
you
this
got to
up.
either get it together or there's
Now,
not much
and it's so
more that
interesting
can be
because when we met,
Yeah.
my impressions of him was like this dude has his shit together.
Yo,
Oh,
right?
I know.
Hey, I'll
I
take it.
know.
Well, always.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Was I wrong?
I've had moments in my life, man.
Well,
we
who
all gotta-
hasn't?
Right.
Who
We all
hasn't?
But
Right.
I've tried to keep it together, especially at that program and stuff like that. You're setting a good example for the
For the
youth
kids
and stuff. Yeah.
You gotta set a good example for the kids.
I will say this, just one last thing about that.
Yes, please.
Because this is one of the most. If I can ever find this person, and on the spot, if anyone ever wants to comment and tell me that they were this person at that time, but I got done with that, and I got to the airport, and I was starving. And I had no money, and my money hadn't been sent to me yet, and I didn't have any way to access it. So I'm at the airport. I'm there early. I have about 2.5 hours before the flight.
Back home
After this, and I am starving to the point that I'm asking people for their leftovers.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's how low it got for me. Which is why sobriety is so key.
Important.
People.
Yeah.
Yes, but I go up to this Pizza Hut in the airport, and I go up to, and the guy goes, "Hey, Zeke and Luther, right?" Right, and I go, "Yeah, man." I go, "Hey, bro. I'm sorry, man. I don't have my wallet. I'm starving, and I don't have any way to get food right now. Was there anything you could do?" He goes, "I got you," and he gives me a pan pizza for free. He goes, "Loved you on the show."
That's
sends
so
me on
sweet.
my way. And it meant more to me than anything I've ever been given food wise. I think in my entire life, because I was so down and out and incapable of providing for myself at the point. So that's the last thing. So that actually
Acts of kindness, man. Acts of kindness.
My God,
big
they matter.
believer in acts of kindness.
They matter.
Yeah.
They matter more than I think. Than like, and I don't know if there's anything that matters as much.
I think
as acts of kindness
I
does.
think acts of kindness. If like I know it sounds bullshitty,
Yeah,
but you had that experience.
sure.
If you not to get all serious.
Yeah.
No, we can.
But it's like
absolutely.
I think that's like, for me, it's become something that I try to always put forward when in encounters with people, and I think a lot has to do with the faux fame.
Sure.
Like, it's not like I'm a big movie star. I was a dad. On
America's
a TV
dad
show.
in a lot of ways.
America's dad on
But it's like
yeah.
this, like, people look at me and they're like, they think I'm their favorite cousin kind of deal.
Sure.
And that
Yeah.
made me hyper aware of people,
Yeah.
and receiving that kind of nice energy
Sure.
was like, made me aware of how nice it is to be nice.
Yeah.
And
much it
how
matters,
how important it is to be kind, and
Sure.
that kid just was like, oh, he did me a solid. He made me laugh when I was a kid. Okay,
Here's a pizza, and I'm like,
yeah,
Yeah. Man.
that's
yeah.
fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
No, and in a world where no one owes you anything,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
people could be all just selfish and left to their own devices, never help a soul that was outside of their family.
Yeah,
So it is beautiful when we get those opportunities to pay it forward. And that did you guys ever see the film Pay It Forward?
Yeah.
Loved that
Yeah.
film. It's one of my favorites, man. But yeah, doing little acts of kindness can go a long way, and you never know your big impact.
Yeah.
Butterfly
Yeah.
effect.
Also,
that's
it makes
really
you
true.
selfishly. It also makes you feel really good.
Oh yeah,
It's a
because
total high.
The last
just
episode,
talked
we
about
were
that.
just talking about being selfless to a fault or being selfish to a fault, and how they're both. It's a balance, really, trying to be, self-care for yourself, but at the same time, only caring about yourself, you become fucking miserable. That's all you care about is yourself.
But that's not being selfish. Like, taking
Yeah.
care of yourself isn't being selfish.
Yeah, no, that's
No,
taking care of yourself.
totally,
No, you're right.
totally.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Well,
between
it was
those two,
self-care or selfless, right? And so they're both, to me, at least in my opinion, based
I
off
did a
of-
lot of self-care this morning. Oh, am I allowed to talk about that?
Oh, what kind
Well,
of
well,
self-care?
yeah, you did a lot of self-care.
What
Did
kind
you
of
have like a
self-care
nice,
was
did you have a
that?
nice breakfast?
That was a joke,
It
kids.
was a but
There was a lot of. It was.
I usually save my
3
self-care
times I
for the night.
self-cared this morning.
You had pancakes 3 times, Jonathan? Well, you know what? This is a great way to segue into our segment that we have on here called What the Fiddly Fuck Are We Drinking? Now, what we have here today
Oh.
is Jones's special release orange
pop the top for
chocolate
you.
soda. Now, I want to make it clear,
Twist off.
I've actually
Hey,
had
twist
this
off, baby.
before. I've had this one before because I did it for Instagram, and it sucks.
Smells like chocolate milk.
I love chocolate.
It does not. That is not what it smells. It smells like a Tootsie Roll.
It's got
a chocolate. Like
just
Tootsie
chocolate.
Roll.
It smells
like a Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie? Okay,
like a Tootsie Roll.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when I tell you that you're not going to like this, make that clear.
Why are you saying that? How
because
do you
it's
know?
just real good.
You fucking don't know my palate.
I would. You know what? I'll bet you. Let's see. What I got? What can I just bet?
What am I working with?
What am I working with over here?
Nickels.
Where'd you guys find this guy?
You ready? This guy's gotta
What
make
the hell,
sure.
man?
Wait, whose man's is this?
Someone get your
Was
boy.
your show on Disney Plus?
Disney XD.
Disney XD.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Extreme Disney.
Well, it's been on Disney Plus though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
on Disney Plus.
I wasn't sure because I never watched it.
I know
but
you didn't know.
But
you even know what it's about?
It's about. Okay, so this kid finds a skateboard.
Hey.
Okay.
And they ride around, and and comedy ensues.
Right. So it's
That's
two
it,
kids
right?
that find skateboards.
Yeah.
They don't find them in the show. They have them already.
They grow them. They sell their cow. They go. They're very
Jack
poor,
in the fucking
and they
beanstalk?
sell
What are
their
you
cow, and they get some beans.
Get some magic beans.
And it grew
into
2 magical skateboards.
Got
that
it.
part.
See,
Got it.
I'm a pitching machine.
Now that show would have made us famous.
Yeah.
We were on this other poorly written show that just made us ourselves.
Now, did you have a skateboard?
My character did have a skateboard, yeah, and a little tricycle motorcycle kind of thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Why'd you get that?
Oh, just because I was cool. I was cool as fuck.
Let's drink to that, shall we?
Cheers.
All right. Cheers,
how
everybody.
cool I am.
Okay.
Cheers,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, lie to me. Tell me it tastes good. Go ahead.
First of all, it's not cold.
First of all, it sucks.
Well, it doesn't suck.
You know what?
Chocolate
He's right.
and soda are not supposed to happen.
What I'm getting
That's never
is a
been
nice orange kind of soda-ish flavor, right?
Yes, the audience is
Little
getting a big old
sweetness
fucking lie.
to hit, you know, the middle of the tongue. But then there's this robust chocolate that comes and just, it's like a little breath.
What is this?
I would say
Michelin star? What are you saying? What are you reviewing this?
I could drink this. I could drink
if you're gonna have a fucking segment where you taste something, then fucking taste
He
it.
doesn't really taste most of them. All he does is go,
He
ugh,
put it-
bro, I'm not doing this, and
This
puts
one,
it down.
This one fits on my palate.
Oh, of course it does.
Fits on my palate.
With Jonathan
also-
on, of
I
course
don't hate
does. I get it.
I don't hate it.
Oh, do you think that he's like siding with me just cause?
I mean, no. If I hate it,
first
then
of all,
someone drink it.
I having known both of you for 7 years,
totally.
I have never known Daniel to side with
To
me
just follow along.
because.
Yeah.
Second of all,
Daniel's
second of all-
changed over the years.
Daniel's become a follower. I would say this. I would be interested in trying this in a cup with ice.
Okay,
That's fair.
well,
That's. I mean, that's. I feel like
Sodas shouldn't have chocolate.
that's what I'm saying.
But
Well, I got to say, guys, as an older gentleman,
go ahead.
I would say this. When I was younger, I had a lot of rules about food. I used to think that fruit should not be in ice cream.
Okay.
I also felt coffee had no business being ice cream.
Well, that was
Even though these were two things that I enjoyed separately, together, I did not like them.
Got you.
I did not like that kind of thing, and now I do. So,
okay.
I like more things than I used to.
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with that?
Yeah.
So making a rule like chocolate shouldn't be in soda. Well, I mean,
Well, that was his
honestly, soda shouldn't be in soda unless you're getting it. It's like
Right.
So you're putting CO2 into water to put bubbles in it.
For what?
For what? Well, it's fun.
For the
Right.
thrill of it. Hey,
the
you only
thrill.
live once. Why not?
That's what they say. So I mean, if you ever have
So let me taste and make sure.
That soda sucks.
I would be interested in. Now, this is not for you, but a little bit of rum in there.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was gonna say. I could taste this in some
Maybe
type
a
of
little rum.
alcoholic.
It might be too
beverage.
sweet, but yeah, it could be cool.
Yeah.
So
All right.
and I have to say, I really enjoy Jones. I've had
Oh, these are Jones.
Yeah, I've
the
had-
other ones are terrible.
I think they do a good job. Once again, you can send me an email. I'll send you my address, and you can send me
some soda.
Send me some Joneses.
Jones
Shout out
is
Jones.
actually, I really like a
New
lot
sponsor.
of Jones soda, but I don't like this one.
Clearly, and it's because you just don't like the chocolate. You think it has no business in.
I think it's a lot like when I would say over the years there have been a few, and not all of them, and I'm not going to name any names because I have no business. I don't want to attack anyone's career, but there are certain comedians who have tried to do drama, and you're like, you have no business here. You are much funnier. To me, I think that they're so good as comics that we don't have enough good comics.
I disagree with you.
We don't have good. I know you
100% disagree.
I'm aware
Hutch
of that.
likes putting ceilings on people.
It's not about putting a ceiling on somebody.
Don't fence me in.
First off,
Right?
I didn't say you.
Who
Who do you think I'm talking about?
I'm not naming names. You're the
Okay.
one. I'm not naming. You're the one who started that.
I didn't
crap.
start saying any names. I just put a
first
statement
of
out
all,
there.
I think comedy's really hard.
It is. It is.
Comedy's super hard.
Well, you just make it look hard.
This guy. Jesus. Hutch are you trying to be me?
What the hell,
Hutch
man?
is just throwing jabs out there.
Why are you taking shots at America's
Jonathan,
dad?
I want you to know that I
Why are
love
you
you.
doing that?
I
Why
have
are you
to
taking
say,
shots at America's
Not-
dad?
not
so what
Jonathan,
Daniel
man.
does during these segments,
All
usually,
3,000 of you send letters to Hutch
Send
and
letters
tell
to
him
me.
to
All
be
the
nice
viewers.
to me.
Daniel usually, and that you're right. I don't know
it's
why.
my
I
fault.
feel like
He
I've been
deflects. He likes to
inspired.
deflect.
I've
what?
been
He deflects.
inspired
Okay, go ahead.
because when I tell you that this man over shooting this second season, I think there have been at least 9 different times where I've said, I've said something, and then he'll go, well, it's because you're a bitch.
I don't think I use those exact terms.
Exactly.
You're not
that
you're
type,
not-
exactly.
You're not
Wrong. No, I'm not.
You're a little bit of a bitch.
How
A
so?
little bit.
I don't know. When I first met you, you went up. You had no,
Yeah.
you had nothing.
That
So,
version of me was a bitch, but that
so
was.
you're a little.
But I was though. I think you cannot be one anymore once you're not, being attacked by addiction.
He's still in there somewhere.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh! Are you blaming your addiction for your bitchness?
Definitely.
Damn.
Definitely.
Excuses.
Where all my money went.
Excuses.
Okay, look, when you have to ask people for a Pizza Hut
Define-
pizza,
define
I
your-
don't know, what else you'd call yourself.
What do you? No. Destitute. What do you mean by bitch? Exactly.
Bitch has so many different
So
This is true.
meanings now.
So many.
I'm just
but-
confused
no,
as to
I
how
was-
you're defining.
Well, you should ask Daniel. He's the one that's called me that.
Daniel,
So you should
Not
actually.
call that.
why do you think Hutch is
The only reason Hutch has a tinge of bitch, and I think we all got a little bitch inside of us somewhere deep down.
if we're lucky.
If you dig deep enough.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
I like to think of myself as a sort of
Faceted.
Yeah.
person, so I can be bitchy too.
Sure.
And bitchy is like hey kids, get off my lawn.
Right.
Is that bitchy?
That's like more curmudgeon-y.
Curmudgeon.
Which
but that's
we know I'm very good.
Yeah, but I don't think you have like bitchy I don't think you have any like bitchiness.
So what is?
when I use bitch, or at least in the context I think
we're
you're
having a
talking about.
conversation.
Yeah. You mean the way when
What
you
does
say
bitch
it's a
truly
bitch.
mean? We're gonna get into the etymology of bitch,
Yeah.
guys.
And I
should
forgot
look up
that you're a
etymology.
language guy.
Oh, yeah, well-
so what's the etymology
See, I
of
don't know.
bitch?
I'll tell you what Google tells me.
So then,
Etymology.
wait, no, that's not how that works.
Yes, it is.
Why
of
not?
Bitch.
What do you mean?
Not biatch, but
You
bitch.
started this.
Okay, first off.
Oh,
no.
okay. So
I said what he called
Old
me.
English, it comes from
That
bicka,
doesn't mean I started
bitch,
anything.
which actually means just female dog. Also of the fox, wolf. So canine.
So why does that have a negative
Why is it such
connotation?
a-
Because
my dog- I have
at
a-
some
Powering
point.
bitch?
I have a little dog, and it's a female dog, and she's wonderful.
She's a bitch, but she's amazing. Yeah.
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 I love my dog.
the bitch that I refer to within Hutch that lives
The bitch
there.
within Hutch.
It's a latent bitch. It's a dormant bitch.
Reveal
It's not-
yourself, champ.
it stems from that time I was assaulted at that party and you slinked away like a bitch.
We did talk about this.
Oh,
That's right.
I think I've heard this story.
Yeah, and I had to fend for myself.
He
I was
had
being
multiple
surrounded.
people around him, and I went, well, it's about time I be settling up now.
So could I say something about that?
Go ahead.
Just to,
Totally.
I think to settle that you were being a bitch.
I was.
Yeah.
But again, I felt like I was being a bitch when I had to ask you for food and had no luggage or a wallet and was almost crying.
It's
on
a different
the
context.
escalator.
Yeah,
that's not being a bitch. Being a bitch is
you felt like
when your buddy
felt like
is
a
being
bitch. There you
surrounded
go.
at a party and you
Yeah.
skulk off.
Well,
Like the bitch he
it
actually
seemed
I
like the
think-
smart
I
move
think
at the
the
time.
Did you get your ass kicked?
No.
No.
How'd you get out of it?
Oh,
I was that
being
confident
victorious.
in Daniel's, because I was confident in Daniel's ability to fend off anything that was going to come his way.
Yeah,
And there was
break
no
out
reason.
the taekwondo.
There was no reason.
Did you really?
I mean, once you throw a kick, the other 4 people are like, "Whoa,
Did
hey,
you
it's
just
too much."
say you threw a kick?
Yeah, I just hit him with that little side.
When the fuck
roundhouse.
did that happen?
Well,
Now-
your bitch ass was way across
Yeah.
the street. You didn't see
You
it.
you can't comment on that part. You skulked away.
Oh man.
Okay,
You
all
can
right.
do the Jack Reacher thing and be like, when I punch somebody's teeth out,
Yeah.
2 of you were going to run away.
Right.
And that
Or
whole
like-
thing. That's what
and
I
then
felt like.
yeah.
After I did the little
Not that I've ever done that.
sauce. It was nice.
So that's why, because of that one instance that
Did we
I've
ride home together?
that
Did I?
Why did this come up? Because I was really concerned about coming on a podcast and sharing too much and saying the wrong things.
too late for
and
that.
it
pal.
seems like and it seems like
yeah.
you're like, well, what Daniel called me a bitch. It's like you've opened up this topic.
Of course, absolutely, because that topic needs to be opened. Okay, because Daniel,
Talk to me.
over the years, I would say Daniel usually has been the one where I'd say we've actually switched off now with this pod where one of us ends up becoming very unhinged. And then the other person tries to reel it back in. And, just like a kid trying to fish his first
So you're
time.
really fighting the good fight right now.
I'm trying my best here. Yeah.
Or else the audience has nothing to talk
Hey,
about.
he's going to be like,
Hey,
okay, wait a second.
Hey, bitch.
Yeah, yes.
I like this.
Bro,
okay, good.
This is the most I've drank of one of these in a while, dude.
No, you drank the pickle one. You drank the whole pickle.
The pickle one I did,
It's
and
not
I'm gonna finish this one by the end of this episode.
Okay.
This is not bad, Hutch. I think you should give it another shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I believe "stop your bitching" is the phrase. Oh man.
No, you don't like it.
Stop your...
Do you
Stop
still
your
not
bitching.
like it?
I didn't change my fucking mind just because I had another sip.
Well then. So, Jonathan, man. We've been talking about all this other stuff.
We're
man.
talking about Hutch
Yes. Now,
and how much of a bitch he is.
yeah, it's a lot. What about you now?
Let's talk about me.
Let's talk
Finally.
Let's talk about entertainment. You have such a long tenure in the industry. What do you feel like keeps you going, within entertainment? Why do you feel like it's such an important, be it art form or, just form of expression for humanity?
Wow. Okay. I think that shitty segue.
It's horrible.
Horrible segue.
From the bitches to
but
the...
let's honestly, I think I like making people happy. I like, when you go into something like this because, you want a little bit of attention, or for me, it was like, for me, when I was a kid, I liked it because I didn't want attention, but it allowed me to control social situations. Being up on stage kept the group over there.
Okay.
And I got attention and positive reaction from it, but I didn't have to deal with, like, I knew, because plays are structured and your beginning, middle, and end, and you can be emotional and all that kind of stuff. So I got to like experiment and all that kind of stuff and sort of not hold court, but it's in a way it was kind of like, it allowed me to process emotion. It allowed me to process how much attention I got. Like when private things happen to me, I freak out. Like I don't like personal attention.
Mm.
So, but what it helped me, what theater and then like being on TV, and what this is like when somebody recognizes you and they're like, you were my childhood, or I loved you. Or
Sure.
And it's like, you love that assembly of images of a picture of me.
Yeah.
That is not me.
Totally.
Yeah.
But it's like stories affect people and stories make people think and feel. And being a part of that process, I find incredibly rewarding.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not a lawyer or a doctor. I don't have that kind of immediate effect on like saving people and helping people. But it's like we're sort of doctors. We're doctors for the soul.
Hey,
you know, we sort of provide a salve for people. They had a shitty day at work or at school.
Totally, yeah.
You know, when I realized that on Drake and Josh, when I got the gig, it was like, you know, I'm going to be a dad on a basic cable TV show. And then once I started like thinking about it and started to see, like we were talking about before, like these acts of kindness that would come my way.
Sure.
It was like, oh, shit, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, we're here for a purpose, and people need to be told stories.
Sure. Yeah.
And so that I think being a part of that process it's just fucking great. It's wonderful. It's hard. I mean, the business is really screwy right now and all that.
Yeah.
And that's really hard and too bad, but we'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
You know, but that's why I think it's really important. People need stories to help figure out their place in the world.
Yeah.
And to experiment with, like, even if, like, you know, sort of even from like violence to love, having sort of and why representation is so important.
Yeah.
You know, people have to see themselves in stories in order to help themselves figure out their place in the world.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which is why actually, like, right now in a time where casting has become much, much more open, you know, it's so important.
Totally.
You know, if you think about it that way, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? So being a part of that process is really, it's cool.
Yeah.
Was that a good answer?
Shoots. Yeah.
It was a good answer.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
made
it was
it
a really good answer.
Actually,
just
I
made it
worked
up
on
on the
it.
spot.
No,
I worked
feel
it
like
out. I
you
actually,
still got it, Jonathan.
I worked it out last night, and I was writing it.
Nice.
You wrote it down.
Came prepared.
Okay, good. I had a feeling that seemed a little too prepped.
Well,
I
all
think it
the
was
teaching
sad.
shit, right? All the teaching. It's like one of the things, like, kids will come in. You know this. Kids will come in and like, why do you want to be an actor? And they're like, there's always a kid who's like, because I want to be rich.
And I'm like, look, pal.
Well,
I'm gonna throw that out there. You know, wait a
aside
second.
from the fact that that's practically incorrect, right?
Yeah, totally.
In a practical purpose, it's not right.
You're in the wrong place, kid.
Well, you're in the wrong. Go get a real, do something else. But aside from that, there's to be able to sort of like redirect that energy,
Sure,
with a kid and say, well, maybe here's something. Ooh, I touched the mic. Does that?
You're fine.
Did that fuck
no,
you up?
you're good.
I'm sorry. But
Bam.
but but it's like you redirect that energy and you say, well, you know, it's nothing wrong with wanting to be rich, but you know, there are other things here.
Sure.
And if a kid's there kids are never there just for that.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, I've usually said there's so many ways now to become rich or famous with social media that acting is no longer really.
Oh God,
the
fucking help me with that.
one.
I'm trying to get rich on social media.
Hey, and that's its own beast. That is its own.
It's crazy.
Beast.
I can't wrap my head around it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
I can't, because I'm like my parents back in the 80s, right? With technology, like I can't figure out how to work the VCR.
Dang.
And like social media to me is kind of like the VCR.
It's tough
of today.
I say if so for someone, like if I were to speak to people, because what would you consider yourself, Gen? Well, you're not boomer. What are you? You're Gen what?
I consider Johnny Goldstein.
Oh no,
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
What would you call him?
I think I'm a baby boomer. I think
You're Gen X.
No, I'm not. I was born in
Just a little
60.
bit
I was born in 64.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like almost 250 years ago, if I do the math right.
Christ.
But I think I'm a baby boomer. I think I'm right on the edge.
Right
of
at
like,
the edge, though. That's wild.
But it's like all this stuff. Even when I like get a handle on it, I mean, I have what do they call it? Instagram. I have an Instagram account, and I sort of use it ish. Sometimes I'll post.
Yeah.
Like if something bad happens, I get more viewers.
But always.
You know, I hover now. I'm hovering around 15,000 on it.
Yo, we got we'll get your numbers up. We'll make sure we send out.
You're not going to get my numbers up.
No, I mean, you know, by virtue of sending.
Oh,
traffic
by
to the.
Well, he has
Hi,
he
everybody.
has like 551,000.
I know because
Well,
he's a badass. He knows what he's doing.
I've just been
Yeah.
putting work in. But
How many do
if
you have?
39,000.
You
Oh,
have
see,
even
you're
more
not
than. Oh, you see, that's the
He
thing.
said, "Oh,
Yeah.
see,
Well,
it
you're
just breeds
cute, that's
envy."
You're
Social media is
cute. You're
terrible.
good looking,
Hey, there you
and
go. There you go.
your
Cheers to
painting
that.
and your paintings are great too.
Uh-huh.
Thank you,
And you
sir.
still haven't given me one.
well, you don't really you never really asked for one.
I did. Actually, I really did ask for one.
and I don't really feel
I
like
very
I
specifically
feel like
asked
you
for
should
one.
have. What you should have done was maybe like
Paid for it.
maybe like bought one, and then I would have
bought
like maybe
you food when you were down and out.
And he showed up on our podcast.
I showed up on your podcast.
Dang,
I'm
bro.
nice to you when we go on these trips around the world.
I love that that's somehow
everybody's like,
Terrible.
oh, let's not hang out with Hutch.
That's
and I'm like,
not
no,
at
He's
come on.
actually a good guy. No, he always speaks up for you. Like when we wanted to ditch you at that party,
Always,
he
always.
stepped up and he was like, "Hey,
Always.
dude, you cannot
This is
leave
what
him
happens.
stranded in
So,
Amsterdam."
I want it to be abundantly clear now why I went on the offensive the way I did in the beginning here, because I knew eventually that you two would fucking
Gang up
Boba
on
and Django Fett
What?
this. And
Gang up
it
on
was like,
I would never gang up.
that's
on
what
you.
just happened.
No,
No.
it didn't. We're
It's
just
absolutely
speaking-
what happened.
Just
No,
speaking.
it's
truth.
situational.
It's just speaking truth.
yes.
See, that's how I know.
And the
right
truth
there.
is, Daniel drank all his orange chocolate soda.
Before I drank the rest of mine, actually.
Yes.
Wait, I thought you didn't like it.
Well, I have to drink the whole thing.
He has to. Yeah,
Why?
I didn't.
Yeah, for each one of them, I have to.
Well, because he told me he wanted to do it, and I was like, that sounds like a terrible idea. And he was like, I'm doing it. And I was like, the only way I'm going to do it is if you mandatorily
That
have
soda
to
sucks.
drink it all.
It doesn't suck.
It sucks.
It's
good.
challenging.
You know, it's challenging, yes.
It's challenging.
I got a laugh from over here.
Don't fool yourself. That's an easy laugh. over there.
Oh, this guy.
I will take any laugh
This
I can
guy.
possibly get. So
Jeez.
were we talking about anything?
Oh,
Are
I was
we
trying to
talking
extrapolate.
about anything.
We were. That's the thing about podcasts. No one's
I
ever
was
talking
so
about
nervous.
anything.
Oh, we're going to talk about heavy shit.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about
anything.
No, actually, the only thing was talking about what
social-
being an actor is
Oh,
like,
well,
and
that's
how much as far as what
Lonely.
it does for. Oh, well, that's for damn sure. But just what it does for the world. Everything else was really more about like Daniel's version of what a bitch is. You calling me a bitch, me then calling you a bitch.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
all that.
usually then it kind of just went around in a circle.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
that a couple times.
And soda.
And
soda,
Joe's
guys.
orange chocolate
Now-
soda.
Now, you, Johnny, you grew up in a time like where you could really be a
No
winner.
electricity.
Oh, is that
No
what it is?
electricity.
Where did you grow up?
Flight had just become a thing.
Totally.
That's wild.
I grew up in New York, Long
Oh, New York.
Island.
Oh, okay.
North Shore of Long Island.
Okay.
My hometown is this great little place called Port Washington. It's
Mm-hmm.
not so little, not to be mistaken with Port Jeff.
Okay.
Port Jefferson. It's Port Washington,
Okay.
which is right next to a couple of towns: Plandome, Great Neck, Roslyn.
Great neck.
Great
I want to
neck.
go there.
Well, Plandome is if you watch
Do you know
Miracle.
what he just did?
I want to go to Great Neck.
Great neck. Do you know what that is?
It's a place.
Don't
called
you
Great
fucking
Neck.
dare! Don't
What's
you do
Great
hey,
Neck?
so when Daniel
place
does
that
that,
has
no,
great
no,
neck.
no. Okay, when Daniel does that, know that he's just made some sort of. It's a double
Hey, there we
joke.
go.
Sorry,
It's a double
did
joke.
you get that right in your ear?
So,
I'm sorry.
If, you
That's
will-
gross.
if Daniel ever does this, and by the way, this is now we're almost at the end of season 2 actually with this episode. So whenever Daniel goes, yeah, I want to head on over there.
In that
there
tone,
is
that
a
tone.
reason he said it, and it's usually there's something.
I want some
filtered
great
under
neck.
it.
So,
Yeah.
It's
so
an
great
innuendo.
neck, like you want to have a great.
I wanna get some neck.
Great.
I want someone to give me some neck.
That's an old schooly thing for making out. Is like great
Oh,
necking.
really?
Necking.
It's
Yeah.
definitely,
It's more.
definitely not.
I know. I
what
want
that
someone
is.
to give me some neck. Give me that neck. I don't want to. Yes. I'm so sorry. If you know what great neck is in the comments, let us know. Okay.
It's
I
third.
feel
It's just
so
third
dirty
base.
right
It's
now.
just third base.
That's third base.
Third base.
Is that what
Great
third
neck?
base
That's
is
what
called?
third
Wait.
base
What
is.
does
That's
third
not
base
what it
mean?
That's what it is.
Third
Wait.
ba-
What's first base?
Put
Kiss.
your finger away first.
He's like, put these things down now. What's first base? What is first base? I'm trying to remember the bases.
I think I'm going to lose what followers I have on Instagram.
Oh no, you're gonna gain them. You're gonna
You'll,
gain
you'll
them.
gain some.
That's
You'll just
oh
you might not
God.
gain the ones you want.
Hey. But yeah, okay. But you grew
so
up
I grew up
around
in-
a lot of great neck,
I-
and then you
I
moved.
grew up in Port Washington is the name of the place. I
Okay.
was just there. It's beautiful. It's really nice. And then I moved out here in 1995. That's like before you were born.
I was
I'm 91. I was 91.
I was 3.
Yeah. So you were just little infants when I moved out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cali, man.
Yeah.
Cali. And you've had, tell us about love in that. Do you mind talking about love?
Well,
Dude, your segues. What the fuck?
No, I just
Wait
want
a
to know
second.
about love. Like,
I
he looks
went
like a guy.
Cali. Tell me about love.
And all this great
What do you
neck.
want- I feel
No.
like, oh my God. What
I
do
mean,
wanna
you
know about
traveled
love?
all the way to New York. Usually there's like some,
No,
I
I
mean,
traveled
from
all
New
the way to
York to
California.
Cali. Usually there's a love story behind that. It was just a love for acting?
Well, actually,
No.
now I don't know. Like, if there isn't a love story, does that make me weird?
No, it makes you driven, passionate for, something
So
inanimate.
I was living in New York, having girlfriends and lots of sex. I don't know. Is that what you want to know? I don't know.
Yeah, why not?
That's
Our audience is young gentlemen, and they want to know if they will
Really? This is
survive
just
in
their-
life.
really.
Well, not all of them. So we got ladies.
Well, hi
out there,
guys.
too.
But so look. So I'm going to try to clean this up real quick. So was living in New York. I'm a musician also, so I had this band,
Killer
and all this stuff,
guitarist,
and was doing a lot of like I had done this off-Broadway show, and I was trying to find my place, and everything was sort of in this groove that I had set up, and I wasn't really making any progress. And I got a call one night from my dad, and he was like, "How you doing?" And I'm like, "Fine." And he's like, "I think you should get the fuck out of here." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "I think you should move to LA. I think it's time." And I was like, but, and he was like, "How much money do you have in the bank?" And I told him, and he was like, "Great, I'll match it. Get out of here."
That's awesome, though.
And luckily I was set up to do it. I had, I worked in a restaurant that also had, one out here. It's like they had 50 at that time, like 30 or 40 locations around the country. So I was able to transfer. I came out here with a gig. I had a job.
Oh, dope.
And so it was one of those things where it was really my dad saying to me, "Hey buddy, if you really want to do this, it's time to go where the money's at. Like, go get yourself a job. You've sort of taken this to about as far as you can take it." And I wasn't really busting onto the Broadway stage or anything like that. Those opportunities weren't really coming my way. I was doing some regional theater, and I was doing like avant-garde theater downtown New York, and I was playing out with my band a lot. And so I was like, "Oh God, maybe he's right."
There's a certain complacency.
I think so, and I think he clocked it, and he was like, "It's time to get uncomfortable. It's time to like really do something." So I made a recording of that band, and then split.
Wow.
And then actually, and as far as music goes, when I came out here, I started to reconnect with some of the dudes that I had been in my first band with, and we started playing, and after a couple of years, that band reformed. So I was playing a lot here, and started a theater company out here, and one thing sort of built on the other. So my dad was like right on the money.
That's awesome.
It's like he took me out of the complacency. I did exactly the same thing, but because it was in a new place,
Bigger impact.
it had not, I don't know if bigger, but different.
Sure.
And all that energy. And it's funny because after the pandemic, I know we talk a lot about like how it's fucked up kids not being able to graduate from school, not being able to graduate from college, and how everybody sort of missed that experience, and it's all sort of like goofy and weird. I think it's sort of, my get up and go got up and went. I stopped playing music. And I tried to keep like, auditions have been great. I've got some things going on and all that, and it's really great. But you were talking before about how do you keep it going? It's like the spark went away.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to keep the spark, though.
And so I'm trying to like, and I stopped making music, and because I got tired of asking people to come to audition, come to rehearsals, and gigging and asking people to come to gigs. And we're a super fun band, right? It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I love playing, and I was like, I think I have to start doing it again.
Sure.
And then I started trying, and the funny thing is, like, if you don't use it, you lose it. So once I started doing it, it really scared me that I wasn't at the same level I was.
Sure.
And now I'm like, before I came here, I was at rehearsal. It was the first band rehearsal,
That's
man,
awesome.
in like years.
Yeah.
So like having that stuff has been fucking great, and it's all because of my dad. Like that, it's funny. He just passed away. Not to bring it down too much, but he just passed away, and it's like, there are these moments where I'm like, oh fuck, that guy, like he
kicked it off.
He kicked it off for me, and I'm seeing all the patterns of like, I made this decision to do this, and it's just like what happened all those years ago. My dad kicked me out of New York.
Yeah,
like getting outside of your comfort zone.
Sure.
Like I became really comfortable not doing anything.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I better do something.
Yeah, adjust it. Yeah.
Isn't it funny? It's super fun.
Well, that's really
and I'm totally pumped. Yeah.
That's
So was that a good answer? Maybe you can edit that shit together so it looks like it.
No, I love the way
ask
you
me
connected.
a question.
No, I love the connection, man. That's dope.
You imagine the way we cut it. It's like he goes, and then I just stopped doing things. All right, guys, we'll see you later.
or like
Jesus,
Hutch is a bitch, but acting is great.
Acting is great. All right, for further instructions.
You gotta love it.
Wait, what? This is called further instructions.
Mm-hmm.
What instructions?
What instructions?
So now we like to ask our guests to give the audience an instruction to make their life better.
We do not do that. That's on his other pod.
On the other pod we ask for tips.
It's the same shit.
No. Our guest wants to give an instruction.
I don't have to.
He doesn't have an instruction.
I don't need that kind of pressure.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming back.
Thank you,
I don't need that kind of pressure.
Fun-filled episode.
Thank you for having us.
For further instructions.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
cheers.
pal.
You're the best.
All right, for further instructions. See y'all next time.
Peace.
Bye.